Guys, moving on from the conversation on constipation, of course, we started with some other challenges in the health sector, with regards to the lack of space. Well, it's not only in the health sector. In Weija-Gbawe, students are also not happy about the overcrowding levels in their classroom. They say it's making teaching and learning difficult for them.
One of the schools that is heavily populated is the New Gbawe Community JHS, which is part of the Gbawe cluster of schools. Instead of the ideal number of 30 students per class, some of the classrooms have over 60, and in some instances, even more. With limited desks, students are forced to sit in threes and fours on dual desks, a situation described by students as uncomfortable.
Our class is a bit crowded and we don't have enough desks to sit on, so we usually have to page by classmates who brought desks to school.
Desks that's supposed to accommodate only 2 at least. You can have 4 people sitting on it. So you want to learn and then your hand hits somebody, you can't learn well. It really dampens our academics, because one of the key ways to actually pass your BEC and exams is a proper arrangement of your materials.
School heads say the overpopulation and non-availability of enough desks remain a key impediment to effective teaching and learning. But there is no option, since every child deserves access to education.
At the normal schools, we should have at least 40 learners in a class. But as I speak now, in my school, we are having around 60. So you can say they are overcrowded. But who knows? Can we drive them away? No. They also have to enjoy. They need education. So we are giving them. So we are trying our best. All that we can do is to give them education.
To help lessen the burden of the New Gbawe Community School, a group made up of some women who are residents of the area has donated 100 dual desks and other materials to the school.
The banking institutions and to private schools that are really endowed and are affluent and can really help, to even individuals, philanthropists. The church, for example, I think we can all do something to help out, because government on its own cannot do all that we need. We need to also help out.
While the Municipal Directorate of Education appreciates this gesture, it says much needs to be done. The Municipal Director, Charles Odum, told ChannelOne News the 30 public schools in the municipality do not correlate with growing demand. Some children travel about 5 kilometers and sometimes to other municipalities to access education. Children whose parents can't afford private education enroll beyond the GES's approved age of 5, causing delay in their cognitive skills development.
If you come to our public schools, you see that enrollment in KG1, KG2, P1, P2 are relatively low. Because those children, 4 years, 5 years, they can't walk a longer distance to school. So it affects their early development, because they have to come to school at the right age before we can actually work on them.
While authorities have expressed interest in establishing new schools to expand access, land availability remains a challenge. Traditional leaders have therefore been implored to reserve lands for that purpose.
For our own existence, we need to make room for land so that Assembly can come, MP can come and support with school building.
For the ChannelOne newsroom, I am Akwesi Gbawe, Greater Accra.
Welcome back. So, Weija-Gbawe, it's some relief for students there as decks have been provided to them to aid their learning in their classrooms. Our correspondent, Akwesi joins us. Akwesi, good morning and welcome to Sunday Breakfast.
Good morning, Jude and Endo.
Good morning.
Yeah. So I guess students, they are happy now. How many of these students benefited from the donation?
So this is just one out of the many schools in Weija that benefited from the donation of the desk, and this is the Gbawe Community JHS. So it means that the rest of the schools, even at the Gbawe cluster, are still struggling with the shortage in dual desks and other amenities to ensure effective teaching and learning in the school.
can you give us estimates, right? So how many pupils were struggling with this issue, and how much does this go to address the problem?
It's really difficult to give an estimate, but let me say that several hundreds of students. Because if you take the Gbawe community JHS, for instance, just a single classroom has over 70 pupils. In some cases, it's even more than 70. And this is just for the new Gbawe community JHS. So you can imagine how the situation is in the other schools across the municipality. Now, the entire Weija-Gbawe municipality had 30 public schools. And according to the Municipal Directors of Education, these 30 public schools are not enough for the growing demand. There are some communities that still do not have public schools. In recent times, some of these schools, like the Gbawe cluster of schools, and then I know that a school around the Ablikuma area saw massive expansion. There's another school in Weija that also saw a massive expansion, and then a new school was also established in Gonse. But even after this huge intervention, there's still growing demand for access. So if you take a community like SCC, Petegu, Broadcasting, there are no public schools in this area. So what that means is that those children from the communities may have to travel from these communities to either Oblogo, Weija-Gbawe, or some of them may have to go to other municipalities. Some attend school in English Yamanfrom. Some also do even go as far as Kaswa before they are able to access basic education. And all these areas that I've mentioned are heavily populated areas with growing demand for educational infrastructure. So even children from those municipalities are struggling with access. And then having children from other municipalities also, competing for access, it means that definitely these schools are completely overwhelmed.
Interesting. So have we heard from the Ghana Education Service Directorate in the municipality, and are they working to address the other shortfalls in schools in the area?
The Directorate finds this a very huge challenge. So just as I indicated earlier on, in recent years, there were some massive interventions from government where some schools saw some sort of expansion. But just as I also indicated, there are still communities without basic schools. So these children from these communities are traveling sometimes to as far as 5 kilometers to get access to education. There are dangers, there are risks involved. So for parents who can't afford private education for their wards, it means that their children may have to wait until they are beyond 6, or if they are fortunate enough to have an elder sibling who can carry them to school, then they would enroll early. Either than that, they would have to wait until they attain the age of 6 or 7 before they are enrolled. And we know that the GES's ideal age for enrollment starts at 5. By age 5, the child should already be in school. So when the children enroll late, it means that it's going to delay their learning process. They are not prepared adequately, right? And so it's really a challenge. And according to the GES director, it slows down academic process because the children are not able to, develop early as expected. And in the schools where overcrowding persists, what it means is that there is low supervision. Teachers are not able to supervise properly. In fact, there are some of the classrooms where the teacher would not even have a space to place his desk. It becomes difficult for the teacher to move freely in the classrooms because the desks have been tied up. They have not been arranged. They've just been tied up to ensure that every child is able to find space in the classroom. So in such instance, when the teacher gives out an exercise, it even becomes difficult for him to go around to check whether every student is participating or otherwise. And we know that this does not augur well for the effective teaching and learning processes. It is the reason the GES is asking that additional infrastructure should be looked at.
Interesting.
But the Weija-Gbawe municipality is also an already developed area. Land availability has been a very big issue. Even recently, the municipal assembly announced that it was putting measures in place to ensure that existing schools are fenced because people were encroaching on school lands. So it's even difficult for the municipal assembly to secure land to establish new schools in the municipality.
Thank you for your time, Akwesi Ado, and keep following the story as it develops so you can share with us if there are any other updates. And thankfully,
there's a message here that's saying that Weija-Gbawe is round the corner from the seat of government.
Yeah. I mean, it's close, right? I was going to say that thankfully it's not a school under tree situation, right? So, but of course, we know how lack of space can affect learning outcomes. So it's important that we provide them the necessary, amenities they would need to be able to learn and pass very well. So I'm glad that a private group has, moved to their aid to support their work. But going forward, we expect that, of course, the Ghana Education Service, the Ministry of Education, would work to address these concerns, right? Because we know that there should be like trend analysis of how many students are coming into these schools year on year, the space available, and make the requisite provision so that if groups have money to support schools, they can use it for other pressing areas as well.
Yeah, I remember when I was in Kumasi, and I think I went around with the GES as well as the regional minister at the time, and we went for my first day of school where they visit schools, especially the nursery schools who have just entered their first year of education, and some of the schools that we'd go to, it's just heartbreaking. Some of the children, yes, and I love the fact that regardless of what they had, no shoes, slippers, some sandal with the straps broken, they'd still come to school and they'd be enthusiastic. I was looking at pictures on my Snap, and I was like, wow. So, hopefully now I can't even recall the names of those schools, but hopefully those schools now have some form of proper structure there where they can learn. And so, yeah.
Wow. And we've been joined by Gloria Mankwashi.
She's an opinion leader.
Yeah, and also part of the group that supported the school.
Right.
I want to believe. Gloria, thank you very much and welcome to Sunday Breakfast.
Okay, thank you so much.
Amazing. What informed your decision to support the schools, right? We know that you've moved into their aid, provided them desks and other, materials they'll need in the school. What informed your decision?
Yeah, like I said, we were celebrating our 5th anniversary for Royalista Ladies Club, and we decided to do our 3rd social responsibility. So this time around, we decided not to go further than our own home here, because the faith charity begins at home. So we went to the cluster of schools, which is so close to where we do our meetings. And when we had a chat with the Weija-Gbawe community, JSS 1 and 2, even once we went there to have a chat with them to see if we could help out, we could see with our own naked eyes that the kids were sitting sometimes 4 on dual desk. One dual desk would sit about 4 students. And we thought the classrooms were overcrowded. And they needed, clocks to even tell the time. and they needed ceiling fans because the place is overcrowded. They need ceiling fans so that it will help out. So we decided to donate to them desk so that they will have enough desk in the school so that the children will feel comfortable.
What was the feeling like, and also the feedback when you donated these items to the students in the school?
Hey, the whole community, everybody, the kids, the minors, and all of them, the MPs, the MCs, opinion leaders, everybody, everyone is so happy about what we have donated to the school.
Interesting. What should you expect going forward, right? Is this a one-time thing, or you be minded about the school's development? I was speaking to our correspondent, Akwesiado, and he said that this is a challenge that is very common in the municipality. What is your group's plan for the area, if any?
Oh, we are not going to say that this is going to be a 9-day wonder, something that we're going to do it once and for all. No. Anytime we feel like we want to help out, we go to the schools and then we look around. After all, there's not just one school there. There are about 7 schools that are clustered there, and a lot of them are also suffering from the same fate. In fact, where we went to, that school is even better equipped than the other schools that are there. So we foresee that there's a lot of work ahead of us, and so we'll do a lot. If the Lord blesses us with what will take us to do those things. But we are also saying that we can do this much. We cannot do a lot. We can do what we can as civil society, as a club. We can do just a little, and what we can, we'll do our best. We'll do it. But the government should also come in to provide a lot more of the basic needs, so that children and school teachers will also find comfort while they teach and learn there. There should be conducive atmosphere, conducive environment where children can learn and teachers can also teach. And for me, past, present, and even the current government, they do more for ministers, and then they do more for the MPs without paying much attention to these school children and their teachers. I think teachers' salaries must be, they must be motivated well. Teachers, they must also have incentives like back pays and sometimes even Christmas bonuses, so that they will be motivated. And then the civil society, the people that are here, the schools, the affluent schools that are here in our neighborhood, they can also help. The banks, the chiefs, the queens, even the churches and mosques, they can all help. And then the filling stations and all, the traders and all, they must all come in. And even the residents, all from our municipality, everyone must come. We say all hands on deck. Even residents, general residents, volunteers, like even pensioners who are active, they can all come in, help, go to the school. If there are anything that they can help out with, they can also do something to make sure that children are also doing well there.
Thank you for your dedicated service to the pupils in Weija-Gbawe, and of course we are also grateful for your leadership. You have the Gloria Mankwa, who is an opinion leader, and also with a group that has donated to students there. I think good news, right?
Good news.
We pray for more
of such benevolence.
Exactly. You used the right word I was looking for, but the benevolence of groups, of individuals, and I feel like that people can do some in their own capacity, right? So let's support, because just that little donation will go a long way to be a big blessing to one child, right? And you have no idea where that person can reach, in terms of, or you might know the person who has the HIV cure is somewhere sitting in the classroom. So let's be minded to give back to society.
Yeah.
There's a popular quote we say that ask not what your nation can do for you, right? But what are you also doing for your nation? And what are you doing for your nation?
I'm sitting here on Sunday.
So, you know, it
putting questions to people.
It's a big thing, you know.
Yeah.
And telling the stories
telling the stories and empowering change.
You're a big woman.
We are telling stories and we're empowering change.
You are a big
that is what
woman.
we are giving to our society.
And on that note, we'll take a quick break when we're back. There's a lot more right here on Sunday Breakfast. Don't go away.